I can't believe this. I washed and waxed this car yesterday afternoon. Now this morning I find all these muddy cat paw prints on here. You little four-legged terrorist, I'm going to find you and get even. Look at this. Well, to the car wash we go. Well, we got to disinfect this car, but I can't afford to spray it down with all those hand cleaners and right guards, so just bring up $5 for the car wash. Well, here we go, a nice squeaky clean 2020 Toyota Avalon, which is basically a very nice car, but it's also a very boring car, so Toyota sent it down to Toyota Racing Development and put a TRD package on it. And they put TRD emblems on the outside bodywork, so you know what you're driving, and your friends will too. Here's an emblem on the trunk. The TR emblem on these fancy wheels. The TR emblem on your fancy bucket seats. Exclusive for this vehicle, so they say. There's a lot more to the TRD package and emblems. For starters, they took out the adaptive suspension off the touring model, replaced it with stiffer springs, heavy-duty sway bars, and lowered the whole thing by 0.6 inches. The single piston brakes on a small rotor was taken out, put in a larger rotor with dual piston brakes, for better stopping power, of course. Fancy racing wheels with larger tires. They didn't touch the engine, they really don't need to. It's the standard 3.5 liter V6, 301 horsepower, more than adequate. Hooked to an 8-speed automatic transmission and paddle shifters. They did install a TRD exhaust package, one on the right and one over there, to add a bit to the sound effects. So how much does this cost? It starts around 42 grand, but with the usual add-ons they want to get in your wallet. Here's what ours came to, $46,147. Here's what their clean fuel economy is, by the way. Pardon my shaky hand, I still can't afford a tripod. I don't make any money on these videos. Let's get inside and take a look at the cabin, and if you live where there's a lot of rain and snow, you're going to get a lot of buildup on this. You get your pants if you're not careful. The gauge cluster is a very nice design. And I see we have a bunch of safety nannies on here. We're going to have to disconnect those before we start driving. I don't like that junk. Turn pre-collision system off. That's right. Turn it all off. It looks like the tire pressures are set pretty even. Nice to note. Now here's one complaint I have about this car and a lot of other cars I've driven lately. When you turn off all these safety nannies, you get orange warning lights on the gauge cluster, which is fine. Except they're orange, which is the same color as a check engine light, which is not fine. This means when I'm driving down the road and I see orange warning lights in the tip of my eyeball, I'm going to ignore them because I think it's this. Well, what happens if the check engine light comes on and I don't notice it in time? These need to be a different color. Why can't the manufacturers get this straight? Not the same color as a check engine light. Common sense. Okay, carrying on. Here are the climate controls, very simple to use. Info screen's big enough. The audio system's pretty easy to use, so is the navigation. There's a bit more reflection coming off the unit than I would like, but it's no big deal. Medium-sized glove box. A large storage box between the seats. Your button for Eco mode, Normal mode, or Sport mode. And you can shift manually by pushing the knob over to the left, or using the paddle shifters on the steering wheel. And they belong on the steering wheel, not on the steering column like the Italians do, which makes no sense, but that's a different video to talk about. They belong on the steering wheel, and they're easy to find right here. Lots of room in the second row seating, at least when I take all of my camera equipment out. It's designed for 2 large adults. I guess you could squeeze a skinny person in there to make 5 in the middle. A very large trunk. You can stick a lot of stuff in there. And I forgot to show you earlier, the TRD package includes a rear spoiler on the trunk lid where you're going 200 miles per hour. Just kidding. And a blacked out grill with some air scoops on the bottom too. These are fancy looking headlights, so these take these out in the dark and see what they do. Well, it's dark enough. Let's take these lights out and see what they do. Look pretty bright to me. Here we have the low beams, only building 100 feet away. Sort of uneven lighting here, but other than that, pretty good. Go to high beam. Definitely strong in the middle. Not an even wave of light though. Got some bright spots, some dull spots, some fuzzy spots, but it's still lighting everything up, so I guess that's all that counts. Now we'll go out to a longer distance. But before we do, you can see sort of the uneven light. You got a real hot spot in the middle and a fuzzy spot on the edge. I'm getting closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Just kind of strange. I've never seen headlights like this. Not a problem, just odd. Here we have the headlights on the building 300 feet away. Pretty bright, high enough, good widespread. Go low beam, just barely reaches out even though doing so quite low. Overall, pretty decent lights. Here's what the rear view camera looks like in the dark. Looks a little grainy, but we just got out of the car wash again, so it might be some soap on the lens there. But it's certainly wide enough. I'm not complaining. By the way, in mixed commuting, we've been getting around 20.5 mpg. Not bad. We're going to do some more driving later on the video, especially on the freeway, so we can bump up these figures, so don't go away. Well, let's take this on the turning circle and see how this lowered suspension handles. A bit of body lean. In fact, a lot of body lean, but sticking to the road, that's all that really counts. I'm impressed thus far. The electric power steering has pretty good feel and response. That's because they borrowed it from the Lexus, who were the first to make electric steering feel great. If only the Germans could learn how to do that. As we do in all of our videos, we're going to take some mild speed bumps around 20 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance on impact. There's 4 of them. Here's the first. Wow, that was real smooth. I didn't feel a thing. Let's go a little quicker. Number 2. Like gliding on a pillow. Felt absolutely nothing. Number 3. Here comes the nasty one. Yeah, we felt that one. But overall, still pretty smooth. With these stiffer springs and lower suspension, you would think less, but actually it's more comfortable than the standard Avalon, I think. This 3.5 liter V6 is one of the best motors Toyota ever made. Smooth, quiet, powerful, economical, reliable. I mean, they just run forever. Let's do a 0 to 60 run. Oh yeah. This thing moves. A very sweet engine. And the TRD brakes. Yeah, these are good brakes. They did their homework on the TRD package, there's no doubt about that. We're going to go out and jump on the interstate, take a nice little highway trip, see if we can bump up the fuel economy figures. So stay tuned. Right at the end of our trip, let's pull over and see what the number says. 130.3, can't complain about that. Okay, enough worrying about fuel economy. Let's take this baby out on the back roads and open it up. See how this TRD suspension holds up. Doing pretty good thus far. On roads like this, it's fun to use the paddle shifters, but if you put the automatic transmission in sport mode, it shifts just as fast. And I'm very impressed the way this vehicle is sticking to the road on tight corners. Who would think we'd be road racing in an Avalon? Yes, it's actually possible. Yep, this is definitely fun. I think I could do this all day. When I first saw the TRD Avalon, I thought maybe it was just a gimmick, but it's not. They've taken a nice sedan, given it a better suspension, better brakes, nice looks, at a reasonable fee. Overall, it's a nice sedan. I like it. They're going to make around $2,600 a year, so better grab one quick if you want one. Here's some links to other nice sedan videos we've done. Just click and watch.